folks, welcome back to Only Best Fantasy Novels. My name is Robin, and today we're going to talk about Best Served Cold by Joe Abercrombie, which is the first standalone in the First Law universe. And this is very different from the trilogy. First of all, I'll get into what it is. The book follows Monza Marcato, the Snake of Talons, who is a beloved mercenary in Styria, one of the accompanying neighbor states we were introduced to in the First Law that we never really saw much of. But we have this mercenary who's beloved by the people, and under the employ of Grand Duke Orso, a little too beloved, you should say, which is why he kills her brother and throws Monza herself down a mountain. Now Monza survives. She's broken. She's full of rage, and she's out for revenge. She has 7 men to kill, and she intends to see them all meet the Great Leveler. That's literally it. That's the entire premise and point of this book, for Monza to just get revenge, exactly like the title says, best served cold. So this is a revenge story taken to the extreme. It almost reminds me of the Count of Monte Cristo, in just how crazy things get as Monza sets out for revenge. It's just a hilarious warpath across Styria as Monza just goes after these people she has to kill. And what we follow is almost like an Adventure of the Day format, as she goes after each individual person that she intends to kill. She has a different set of circumstances to plot around and to plan against, because these are very different men in very different stations of life, and she has to find the best way to get at them. So to begin this entire operation, she recruits a ragtag bunch of misfits. Some people we've seen. Some are much beloved characters from First Law. Some are people only mentioned in passing, who they very much become their own hilariously well fleshed out characters in this book. So that's kind of it. It's almost like an Adventure of the Day. She has a different scenario she has to overcome, and whether she succeeds or fails, things just escalate, because obviously as more and more bodies drop, it becomes more and more glaring that something is going on, right? So it's just like an absolutely action-packed adventure. One thing I did like about it is that it's very truly a standalone. You don't need to know anything about the First Law to read this book. Obviously, if you know, you'll get the shout-outs and that kind of thing, because quite a few of the minor characters from First Law do make an appearance here, but foreknowledge of them is not necessary. They're either introduced or included in such a way that we understand why they're present, what their whole shtick is about, and what they contribute to the story. So feel free to just jump on this if you want a taste of Joe's writing, because obviously the highlight of this book is Joe's writing. Joe can't write a blog post. I don't think he could even write a dramatis persona without having some fun with it. And that's what happens with this book. We just have a lot of fun over the course of just in the way that this is narrated. Ignoring the biting insights and the snide commentary that he injects just in the way that he narrates events and the way that he portrays the story as it unfolds. These characters are all very unique individuals, one and all. They have their own motivations and their own dreams and their own concerns, as much as they cooperate, sometimes willingly and unwillingly, under Monza's leadership to achieve their objective. And there's quite a bit of tension between them. There's quite a bit of sometimes antagonistic, sometimes less so, personalities between all of them. And Joe just has fun twisting each and every situation to give it, not, I won't say a comical view, because it's not like comedy is the primary purpose of it, but there is quite a bit of humor injected into everything. Quite a bit. This is just a book where Joe's just having fun. His writing at this point has matured to a state where it's this is why we love Joe Abercrombie. Yes, the First Law is great, but this book is a very short bite of why Joe is as popular as he is. Like, just the characterization, the writing, the way everything is put together. There's that. What else do I want to say about this book? In terms of plotting, like, it's just action packed. Like, as things begin to escalate and they get and they just ramp up more and more, it begins to twist and turn and become that much more tense, that much more fascinating, that much more fast paced and action packed. Is obviously, like, it's not just they come up with a plan, they go, they execute it, and then they move on to the next. There is quite a bit of opposition they start to meet as things go along. Like, plans break. With a crew like this with their own motivations, things happen, to put it mildly. So it's basically a long series of hijinks and shenanigans with this crew as they go about to assassinate these targets. And of course, this being Joe, like, he doesn't miss a beat having fun at quite a bit of the modern day societal structures that we use, like just government, war, the way war is exploited and profited by the people who have the power to do so, the way it just abuses and belittles the average person who buys into the propaganda of these fake boundaries and these kind of things. Like, it's just hilarious. Like, Joe has some very, it's not necessarily like new musings, if depending on which authors you've read who've played around with this kind of stuff in the past. And I'm thinking like people like Kurt Vonnegut and Joseph Heller, but he has his own humorous way of portraying it and delving into it, and that kind of shines through in this book. Obviously, like, given the story, like, needless to say, this he also pokes quite a bit of fun at revenge and greed and these kind of things, because all of that is just baked into here. It's a great book. It truly is a great book. I think that's really all I have to say about this book. Like, I don't want to talk too much about it, because I feel like the more you know about this book, the less you'll enjoy it. It's just a straight up adventure story. Don't go into this expecting some high-minded literary thesis or anything like that. It's just a fun action adventure story with a time-tested trope of a driving motivation, you can see. And like, you're really here for the hijinks, you're really here for the zany characters, you're really just here for the humorous writing. And on those fronts, Joe just smashes it out of the park. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Best Served Cold. If you made it this far into the video, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.